Ronna McDaniel will, in fact, be resigning soon as the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. Donald Trump is likely to back an election denier to replace her. You gotta love the New York Times. Never change, guys. Never, ever change. You'll remember a couple of months ago, we interviewed Ronna McDaniel, the chairwoman of the RNC, in the spin room after the debate down in Miami, when she gave a very odd answer about the Virginia elections that had just taken place the day before. She claimed that she directed the RNC not to do anything for that state's elections, that there was no money given there. She claimed that Governor Glenn Youngkin demanded that the RNC stayed out of it, and that was disputed by a lot of people in Virginia. Didn't know exactly what she was talking about. That started a pretty downward news cycle for the chairwoman that included an expose by our very own Jennifer Van Laar at redstate.com. We had her on this program last week where she dove deep into the finances of the RNC and uncovered expenditures like $1.5 million on flowers and limousines instead of, get out the vote projects and voter registration campaigns and things that you would think the RNC was doing. This, by the way, at a time when the RNC has gone from having millions of dollars in the bank to having nothing in the bank. They're actually filing for a line of credit going into a presidential election year. That's not a good sign for Ronna McDaniel either. And plus, we also showed you Donald Trump in an interview this Sunday saying to Maria Bartiromo, it might be time to make a change here with Ronna McDaniel as the chairwoman of the RNC. We lay all of that out there for you to let you know that late yesterday afternoon, the New York Times reported that anonymous sources are saying that Ronna McDaniel will, in fact, be resigning soon as the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. Donald Trump is likely to back an election denier to replace her. You gotta love the New York Times. Never change, guys. Never, ever change. Regardless of who Donald Trump decides, and until he actually becomes the de facto nominee, and mathematically he's not quite there yet. There's only been 2 primaries so far in the build up to the Republican nomination. But when he is the presumptive nominee, then he will, in fact, have the power to be able to choose who the chairperson of the RNC is. Historically, that's always been what happens in a presidential election year. So he'll choose someone, and we can speculate as to who that might be. I mean, maybe I'm completely out to lunch here, but could this be a way of sort of taking care of Nikki Haley, giving her something to do and getting her off the stage once and for all? A lot of people have suggested that. It's like, oh, this is perfect. Get rid of Ronna McDaniel and throw Nikki Haley over there as the chairwoman of the RNC. And up until yesterday, it may have made a lot of sense. But now I don't think it does. Nikki Haley actually participated in the Nevada primary. Now, this is a little inside baseball, but the Nevada primary, which is a state primary, was going to be open to Republicans and Democrats. And the Republican Party of Nevada said, no, we want just Republicans to choose who the Republican nominee is. We don't want this to be open to Democrats and independents. So they're doing a caucus on Thursday instead of the primary. And they told any participant in the Republican presidential campaign that if you participate in this primary that we're not participating in, you won't get any delegates. We're going to be given delegates to the convention in our caucus on Thursday. And so all of the candidates said, okay, fine, we'll participate in the caucus, except for one, Nikki Haley. You see, I think Nikki Haley wanted the headline, Haley wins the Nevada primary, even though it literally would mean nothing because you don't get any delegates. But I think she just wanted the PR. She wanted the headline. So Nikki Haley was the only person on the ballot in Nevada yesterday. Well, actually, that's not exactly true. You had 2 choices as a voter. You had Nikki Haley or none of the above. And the results are in, and we're calling this one for none of the above. That's right. Nikki Haley ran in the Nevada primary last night, unopposed, and she lost to anybody but Nikki Haley. That's just sad. It wasn't even close. That probably hurts her chances to be the new chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. Let's turn to Jennifer Van Laar. We just mentioned she's our managing editor at Red State, and she had a great breakdown of what led up to this moment. Here's the timeline, and this is partly her exclusive analysis showing the millions spent by the RNC back in December of 22 on private jets, limos, luxury retreats, Broadway shows, because that's how you win a presidential election and a majority in the House and the Senate. You take a bunch of people to see Wicked. Rada's people hit back hard, including Susie Wiles, claiming that my reporting was off base, not complete. But they were wrong. She debunked, Jennifer Van Laar did, all of the claims. In fact, everything that Jen said in these articles, nobody has been able to prove any inaccuracies in them. Even after she won the very hotly contested re-election for chairwoman, the RNC was fixated on marginalizing all of the writing that Jen was doing over at Red State. In fact, in one of the somebody had obtained an audio from one of the calls that the RNC conducted where they called Jennifer Van Laar out by name and said that all of her reporting was bogus. But of course, we here at Town Hall stand by everything that she did there. They haven't been able to show anything. Meanwhile, fundraising cratered. They'd shut down 75% of their Hispanic outreach centers. Also, there's no budget really for them in the 2024 RNC budget passed last week. So no Hispanic outreach in a presidential election year when the Republican Party and Donald Trump in particular has been making great strides with the Hispanic community and Hispanic vote. And then, of course, last week's report that we highlighted here absolutely got people murmuring, muttering, and even talking out loud at the RNC winter meetings. This all led to this latest debacle for Ronna Romney McDaniel, where we're now getting these rumors that she's going to step down. Jack Posobiec now is reporting that, according to a senior DC Republican, the one thing that they're really concerned about is a deep forensic audit of the RNC by whoever replaces her. So she might be involved in the negotiations over who that person might be. The temporary chair of the RNC, it looks like, is going to be the current state chairman of North Carolina. He'll fill that slot until they can actually have a proper replacement for Ronna Romney McDaniel. And as I said, it'll probably be Donald Trump making that decision. And of course, I'm just kidding. It's a terrible job for Nikki Haley. And since Nikki Haley just lost to literally anybody but Nikki Haley, I doubt she's going to be the best person or even considered for the job. But can I make a humble suggestion to President Trump and to the powers that be at the Republican National Committee? Because they need to make a decision, and they need to make a decision pretty quickly. If Ronna McDaniel really is going to be stepping down imminently, we need to have somebody competent in that position who knows how to handle money, who inspires people to donate, and knows how to manage things, knows how to run things. This is a presidential election year. This is a Senate majority election year. This is a keep our house and grow our house majority year. This is a year where governorships are up and state legislatures are up. We've got a convention that needs to be planned in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There's a lot to get done in 2024, and we can't languish and just sort of make it up as we go along. The planning for the convention process is happening right now. And you can't go without a chairperson. You can't go without a competent person at the helm. So my humble suggestion, well, let's go back to that debate night I just mentioned, the one down in Miami. It was the third debate. It was on NBC News. And Ronna Romney McDaniel, the chairwoman of the RNC, actually suddenly became an issue for the candidates to debate. Do you remember this moment?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer to the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, I mean, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
I mean, that was a beautiful moment. You remember it well. I remember it well. Sometimes if I'm feeling down, I go back and watch that clip again to see Vivek Ramaswamy tell it like it is and take it not only to Ronna McDaniel, who was sitting in the front row of the theater that night, but also to the debate moderator, to the media, Kristen Welker, and the NBC News moderator. Let's face it, the Republican National Committee needs a new chairperson, needs to breathe new life into the entire organization. They need someone who is on Donald Trump's side and will actually work to support the presumptive nominee. We need somebody who understands money and finances to fix the broken budget and the broken financial situation at the committee. We need someone who will inspire fundraising and inspire voters and who will tell it like it is and do media appearances where he takes no crap. I think you see where I'm going here. Everyone's trying to figure out how Vivek Ramaswamy fits into the big picture here in the Trump campaign. Maybe he'll be the chief of staff. Maybe he'll be the press secretary. Maybe he'll be the secretary of commerce. How about Vivek for chairman of the RNC, like starting right now? What sweet poetic justice would it be that just 3 months ago, Vivek Ramaswamy calls on Ronna McDaniel to come up on the debate stage and resign. 3 months later, she does finally resign. And now you put Vivek into that spot. I think he'd be incredibly effective. I think the Republicans would be lucky to have him. I think it makes perfect sense. That's why I think Republicans probably won't do it.